Marielle, tell us what the atmosphere is like knowing now that the AP has called her the winner and the nominee.
Yeah, Tosin, I think that the news is just starting to get here because we're seeing a group of people gather into the corner of the room behind me, some cheering. I don't know if we can pan the camera because we've got all these reporters next to us here, but it sounds like the news is traveling here. Just a few minutes before this, somebody had spoken and said that they were waiting to celebrate until all the votes were officially counted. So even with AB calling it, we haven't heard a loud announcement yet of the race being called, but it sounds like that's what we're about to see happen here. It's getting louder. I can barely hear you guys back in the newsroom talking to us. The music is high. People are chanting and cheering. So the excitement is certainly building. I just spoke to Congressman Glenn Ivey out here a little bit ago. He is one of our elected officials that has endorsed Angela Alsobrooks. He was confident that she could and would win this race tonight, and he says that she has what it takes to go on and win in the general election come November. He says that she is the right choice and has the experience leading here at the local level to be able to do it at the federal level in our Senate. So we are waiting to hear from Angela Alsobrooks out here. I know earlier in the night her campaign said we could expect to hear from her between 10 and 11. It all depended on when and if this race was called. Of course, we're hearing the AP called it. So as soon as we hear from the candidate out here and we have some more information on when she speaks, we'll be sure to bring that to you guys live. But I'll send it back to you guys in studio live here in Greenbelt. I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
All right, Marielle, thanks. Yeah, the party's just getting started there. Meanwhile, on the flip side of the coin, our Daniel Hamburg is in Baltimore with the Trone camp. And Daniel, I can see, and well, here behind you, it seems like it's pretty somber there right now. I'm sure word trickling in that the AP called it for Angela Alsobrooks.
Well, honestly, Chris, I've been looking around and the mood has been pretty much the same the whole night. I haven't really seen any big emotions of disappointment here in this room. People are still milling about, socializing as they have been all night, frankly. But we knew this was going to be a close race. A lot of money was spent by David Trone in this race, $6.1 million of his own money in advertising over the last year. So he has been touting his congressional record in Congress. Of course, that is a moot point now that Angela Alsobrooks has won this nomination. We are unclear if Trone will speak at all tonight. There, of course, is a podium set up behind us, but the music is still playing. People are still eating and drinking all around here. We do know that the Democrats will likely gather their support around Angela Alsobrooks to defeat former Governor Larry Hogan in the fall, because as we know from several of the interviews that DC News Now has done with Trone, he says this race is really all about beating Larry Hogan and keeping that majority in the U.S. Senate for outgoing U.S. Senator Ben Cardin is, of course, leaving that seat, retiring. So we will see if he comes tonight. We have just seen some of David Trone's family and supporters here tonight, but we have not seen him appear here tonight. We'll keep you updated, but for now we're live in Baltimore. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, thank you. And just over an hour ago, literally about 40 minutes after the polls closed, the Associated Press called the Republican primary in the Senate race. Former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan winning over former Maryland State Delegate Robin Ficker.
All right, our Randy Bass is with the Hogan camp in Annapolis right now. She joins us live with the campaign there. They are celebrating the big win there as expected. And Randy, you had a chance to speak with the former governor just a few minutes ago as well.
Yes, the Hogan campaign here wrapping up as the race was called in his favor. Supporters came out from across the state of Maryland here to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Annapolis to see the former governor solidify his short but mighty campaign with a win on the Republican ticket here tonight. He said tonight the campaign for Maryland's future and America's future really gets underway, saying he wants to bring the spirit of Maryland to every corner of the country. He says he's never been more concerned about the current state of this country and the direction of our nation, saying the country is at a dangerous, critical crossroads. Just 95 days ago, he launched this campaign. Again, yes, we had that chance to catch up with him right after his victory speech here tonight. Take a listen.
Always been very successful at running grassroots campaigns and appealing to people across the spectrum, and we're just going to try to do the same thing in a very difficult environment and a tough election year. You know, we're definitely the underdogs, but we're going to work just like we did when we pulled off the biggest upset in America.
Another big highlight from his speech tonight, his plans to work across the aisle if elected to the United States Senate, saying this is not just about the differences between right and left. He says these issues are at the heart of what's right and what's wrong. In Annapolis, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.